It was another Friday night at Brigham Young University, and the dorms were buzzing with their usual blend of late-night study sessions, Netflix marathons, and quiet conversations about church activities. But for Jenny, this Friday night felt different. She had been dating her boyfriend, Ryan, for 6 months. Their relationship was growing more serious, and lately, they'd been struggling with the ever-present tension between their desires and the church's teachings on chastity. Ryan had been raised in a devout Mormon household, and while both he and Jenny valued their faith deeply, the pressure to remain pure was harder than they'd imagined. They'd heard whispered conversations among friends about soaking, a method where couples avoided actual fun by staying still, technically keeping them on the right side of the moral line. That night, Ryan brought it up. "Jenny, I've been thinking, what if we just soaked?" Ryan said awkwardly, his face reddening. "I mean, we wouldn't be breaking any rules, right?" Jenny bit her lip. She'd heard about it too, and though it seemed a little ridiculous, it also felt like an enticing compromise. "But we can't, actually do anything, just soak." Ryan nodded. "Exactly. No movement, no sin." They both laughed nervously at the absurdity of it, but eventually, curiosity and temptation got the better of them. They decided to give it a try, but there was one problem. Jenny's roommate, Sarah, was almost always in their shared dorm room. That night, as Sarah came back from the library, she could sense something was up. Jenny and Ryan were acting weird, exchanging glances, shifting awkwardly on the futon. She overheard them talking about soaking earlier in the week and pieced things together. Later that evening, as Sarah was getting ready for bed, Jenny pulled her aside. "Hey, I need to ask you something," she whispered. "Could you help us with something?" Sarah raised an eyebrow, already having a guess. "What exactly do you mean by help?" "Well, if Ryan and I, soaked, we'd need someone to, move the bed for us, to make sure nothing goes wrong." Sarah almost burst out laughing, but managed to keep her composure. This was the weirdest request she'd ever heard. But she liked Jenny and figured this was one of those bizarre college stories she'd remember forever. Plus, she'd heard it all before, and in her mind, it was all part of navigating the unique struggles of college life at BYU. "Fine," Sarah sighed. "I'll jump on the bed, but this is a one-time thing." Jenny's face lit up with relief and embarrassment. They waited until late, and when the dorm lights were off, the strange plan was set into motion. Sarah stood next to the bed, hopping lightly up and down while keeping her headphones in, trying to mentally check out from the situation. Ryan and Jenny lay still, as promised, but the whole thing felt more comical than tempting. The tension, the awkwardness, and the absurdity of Sarah's bouncing finally got to them, and they all burst out laughing. "I can't believe we even thought this would work," Jenny said, covering her face. Ryan sat up, equally mortified. "Yeah, I think we're better off sticking with just holding hands." Sarah threw a pillow at them. "Seriously, you two. Next time, just ask me to leave the room."